Hello and welcome to our channel News Affairs. In the second of the series of videos, we will discuss India's G20 presidency. People, you will recall that in the first video of the series, we had elaborated the structure, functioning, significance, issues and limitations of G20. For your reference, we are providing the link to that video in our description. But before we proceed, we would like to remind you to like, comment, share and subscribe our channel to help us bring more such informative videos for you. So people, let's start right away. India holds the presidency of the G20 from December 1, 2022 to November 30th, 2023. With 43 heads of delegation attending the final New Delhi summit from 9th to 10th September 2023, the most ever in the G20. Amitabh Kant is the G20 Sherpa of India. People, what is the Development Working Group? The Development Working Group is a platform for G20 member countries to come together and prioritize multilateralism, share solutions that promote growth, remap development plans, and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals targets. The G20 possesses the knowledge, expertise, financial resources required to reverse trajectories that have gone off track. The Development Working Group meeting held in Mumbai focused on data for development, role of G20 in advancing the 2030 agenda, infusing new life in green development, and accelerating progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. In the second Development Working Group meeting, which was held on 6th April 2023 in Kerala, the third Development Working Group meeting was held on 8th May 2023, Goa. And the fourth Development Working Group meeting was held in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh from 11th to 13th June 2023. What is the G20 logo, people? The G20 logo draws inspiration from the vibrant colors of India's national flag, saffron, white, green and blue. It juxtaposes planet Earth with the lotus, India's national flower that reflects growth and challenges. The earth reflects India's pro-planet approach to life, one in perfect harmony with nature. Below the logo is Bharat written in Devanagari script. The theme of India's G20 presidency, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family, One Future, is drawn from the ancient Sanskrit text of Maha Upanishad. Essentially, the theme affirms the value of all life, human, animal, plant and microorganisms and their interconnectedness on the planet Earth and in the wider universe. The theme also spotlights lifestyle for environment, with its associated environmentally sustainable and responsible choices, but at the level of individual lifestyles as well as national development, leading to globally transformative actions resulting in a cleaner, greener and bluer future. For India, the G20 presidency also marks the beginning of Amrit Kal, the 25-year period beginning from 75th anniversary of its independence on 15th August 2022, leading up to the centenary of its independence towards a futuristic, prosperous, inclusive and developed society, distinguished by a human-centric approach at its core. A new working group on disaster risk reduction will be established under India's presidency to encourage collective work by the G20, undertake multidisciplinary research and exchange best practices on disaster risk reduction. India's special invitee guest countries are Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, Netherlands, Nigeria, Oman, Singapore, Spain and UAE. G20's invited international organizations are the United Nations, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, WHO, WTO, ILO, FSB, OECD, AU Chair, NAPED Chair, ASEAN Chair, ADB, ISA, and CDRI. India will host over 200 meetings in over 50 cities across 32 different work streams and would have the opportunity to offer G20 delegates and guests a glimpse of India's rich cultural heritage and provide them with a unique Indian experience. The presidency is also a chance for the G20 Secretariat to provide the country's citizens with a unique opportunity to be a part of India's G20 story. The summit will be held at the revamped India Trade Promotion Organization complex, erstwhile Pragati Maidan, which has been built at a cost of around 2,700 crores and constructed within an area of 123 acres. This ITPO complex houses the convention center that will host all the meetings during the G20 summit. A giant statue of Nataraja has been installed in front of the venue of the Bharat Mandapam, the venue of G20 summit located at Pragati Maidan. What are the G20 priorities for India? Green development, climate finance, and life. Climate change is a key priority for India's presidential presidency, with a particular focus towards not only climate finance and technology, but also ensuring just energy transitions for developing nations across the world. Accelerated, inclusive, and resilient growth. And accelerated, inclusive, and resilient growth is a cornerstone for sustainable development. During its presidency, India aims to focus on areas that have the potential to bring structural transformation. This includes an ambition to accelerate integration of MSMEs in global trade, bring in the spirit of trade for growth, promote labor rights and secure labor welfare, address global skills gap, and build inclusive agricultural value chains and food. Accelerating progress on sustainable development goals. India's G20 presidency collides with the crucial midpoint of 2030 agenda. As such, India acknowledges the detrimental impact of COVID-19, which changed the current decade of action into a decade of recovery. In line with this perspective, India wants to focus on recommitting G20's efforts to achieving the targets laid out in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Technological transformation and digital public infrastructure. As G20 presidency, India can foreground its belief in a human-centric approach to and facilitate greater knowledge sharing in priority areas like public infrastructure, financial inclusion, and tech-enabled development in sectors ranging from agriculture to education. Multilateral institutions for the 21st century. India's G20 priority will be to continue pressing for reformed multilateralism that creates more accountable, inclusive, just, equitable, and representative multipolar international system that is fit for addressing the challenges in the 21st century. Last but not the least is women-led development. India hopes to use the G20 forum to highlight inclusive growth and development, with women empowerment and representation being at the core of India's G20 deliberations. This includes a focus on bringing women to the fore and in leading positions in order to boost socio-economic development and achievements of socially sustainable development goals. What is the significance of India's G20 presidency, people? India's growing economic influence will help it further strengthen its economic ties with the other G20 members. India's leadership on climate change can help set the tone for global cooperation on this issue. India's focus on inclusive growth will help it prioritize issues such as infrastructure development, job creation, and women's empowerment. India's strategic importance will provide a platform for it to engage with other major powers, including the US, China, and Russia, on issues of global importance. Becoming the voice of Global South by holding the meeting of the Global South countries along with G20 meetings is not last, but a very important addition. People, with this, we come to the end of our series on structure, functioning, and significance of G20 and India's G20 presidency. What are your views on India's position as a leader of the G20 Summit 2023? How much will this summit help India in surging as a global powerhouse while keeping Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam at its core? Do share your views in the comment section below, and do not forget to like, comment, share and subscribe the channel. Jai Hind.